Do you do New Year's resolutions? Is it too late? I don't think it's not too late, right? If you haven't done any, I have a couple of ideas for you. Starting with new music. You got to expose yourself to new music. Maybe music that's a different genre that you're used to. Just explore. It's so easy to explore new music now with streaming services. So take a plunge. Give it a try. See what you find. You might, maybe won't pan out, but maybe you'll find something that really makes you sit up and take notice, recharges your batteries, so to speak, right? So getting some new music, I think that would be probably the single best thing any audiophile could do. But the next one is I want you to think about spreading the word. Grow some new audiophiles. And here's the plan, I think. It's just a suggestion, obviously, right? Is you got a lot of stuff, a lot of gear, a lot of electronics, speakers lying around, right? If you're that type, and you have gear to spare, why don't you lend it to somebody? Lend it to a friend, somebody you work with, just a friend or a relative, and say, hey, I know John or Sally, you're really into music. Do you want me to? I can lend you some nice gear just to see how that changes your feelings about music. It's basically the goal here, right? Is spread the word, lend it to them or sell it to them or something. But the point is, expose somebody you know who loves music to better sound. You have it within you to do that, right? You do, because you got all this stuff. I keep, seeing pictures of people's systems. They don't have just a pair of speakers and an amplifier. No, they have a couple. They have a few. So if that describes you, then I think it would be great to just turn somebody on to better sound. It's just a suggestion, right? Think about that. Think about that. Makes sense for you. Another idea is to experiment with two-channel home theater. Now, I've written about two-channel home theater, made videos about two-channel home theater, but it basically means take your two-channel system and play movies or TV through your system. In other words, put your TV, your display, between your speakers and see what happens. I mean, if you've never done it and you don't have a home theater, you will be surprised how much better movies and TV shows can sound. And if you have a iffy sound bar, push that aside, hook up some decent speakers and an amplifier, and see how that goes. All you need is a two-channel analog output, plug it into one of your inputs, and away you go. You don't need a subwoofer, just two good speakers of any reasonable size and any reasonable electronics, and see if that, ups the ante in terms of what you're getting out of TV or movies at home. Next one is maybe the hardest one, but it's an important one, and that is to make more time to listen. And I know for a lot of people that's really hard to do between work and family obligations and stuff, but even if it's just an extra, 15 minutes a day or 15 minutes a week, whatever it is, figure out where you can squeeze in a little more time to listen and enjoy the system that you already own. Now, not related to my home theater suggestion, the other one is if you've never lived with a subwoofer, think about that. Think about that. Maybe that would be a logical next step. I don't care if you have big speakers or little speakers. Actually, adding a sub to big speakers in some ways makes more sense because you're just going to extend the low bass of those speakers with a sub. If you have small speakers, you're going to obviously get more bass with a sub, but you're also going to have to go higher to reach the low end of your small speakers. Most subwoofers, many subwoofers have speaker level inputs. In other words, you don't need a preamp or a receiver with subwoofer outputs, an RCA jack. You can take another set of speaker cables from your receiver or your amplifier and run them to the sub, and it'll work. It'll definitely work, and it will sound good. A lot of people think that speaker level inputs on subs don't sound particularly good. I think they're fine. Certainly in terms of taking this plunge and finding out if a sub would change the way you feel about your system, literally, consider that as a New Year's resolution. This t-shirt, you might be curious, this t-shirt comes from John Darko's YouTube channel, and I will link to it, and he's selling these t-shirts there, and I think they're really cool. And you're proclaiming to the world that you're an audiophile, you know? So it's nice material, good shirt. This is not a paid advertisement, none of that. I just think it's a cool shirt. It's in its simplicity and its bold statement. So, and yes, I will link to where you can get the t-shirts. I think my work here is at last complete. So, have a good new year, if I haven't already said that to you guys. Come back often. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel. Hit that button right down there. And when you do, you'll see a little icon of a bell. You got to hit that bell to be notified every time there's a new episode. You can follow me on Twitter at Audiophiliac Man. You can follow me on Instagram at steve.guttenberg. And oh, by the way, you can also check out my Patreon. Please, just take a look. See what happens. See if your life changes when you look at my Patreon at patreon.com/audiophiliac. And as always, thank you so much for watching.